Hello, District 38. This is your co-conference chair, Dany Lacy. This time, I am back with you with Anne Barab, who is going to be your keynote on Friday night, and then on Saturday morning, also an educational session. Hello, Anne. How are you?
Hi, Dany. I'm doing great.
I am so excited. So tell everybody, where are you flying out of?
I'm coming from Dallas, Texas. I'm sorry, somebody has to live there. Everybody's not lucky enough to live up in District 38. So I drew the short straw. Yes, I'm a native Texan and I'll be coming from DFW Airport.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you flying in. And I heard you're going to be doing a little bit of visiting before you come to the conference.
Yes, Philadelphia has been on my husband's and my bucket list for, decades. And it's time we got it done. So we're going to come in about 3 or 4 days earlier so we can do all the historic stuff and all the museums and yada, yada. Yeah.
Ah, it's going to be fun. Is he going to go see Rocky?
I don't know that Rocky is considered, like part of our history, although it is. So we're going to go to the museum where the stairs are. So I just don't know that we'll run up and down. Da, 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 da. Anyway,
we all do it. We all do it. It's a thing. You have to be able to say you did it at least one time in your life.
Yeah, but do you have to crack a raw egg into a glass and drink it?
No, I don't think I'd ever do that ever in my entire life, ever. Wow. Yes. But people do that. I have seen that. But no, that is not something I can possibly do.
Okay.
Because then I'd be throwing up on the steps and everybody else wouldn't want to go the rest of the day.
Got it. Well, I'll bring my gray sweatpants then.
Then you'll be good to go. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing for your keynote on Friday night?
Thank you. I would love to. Folks, you need to be at the conference. My keynote starts at 7:00. I think there's a meal beforehand. But if you have ever wanted to incorporate humor into your presentations, your daily conversation, I feel like it's magic when you can get people to laugh. And Zig Ziglar said, I try to make them laugh in the first 10 seconds because if they laugh, they'll like you. So it's one of the best ways to get people to like you. People, however, think humor, like stand-up humor or humor there's different types of humor. There's corporate presentation humor and there's stand-up comedy humor, and they are totally different. And I will be explaining what that difference is. But the fact of the matter is, doing humor is not just a happy accident. It is a science. The writing of humor is a science. There are specific tools and techniques that you can use, which I will be teaching some of them. It is also a skill, figuring out how to do timing and delivery, but mainly it's an art form. And it is a very hard to master art form. Some people are just naturally talented, some not so much. I was not so much. So I didn't discover I was funny until I was 50 years old. Up until then, I just thought I was boring. So people, these days I am a professional speaker, and there's a saying in the professional speaking industry, do you have to have humor in your presentations? And the answer is only if you want to get paid. So it's pretty intrinsic. It doesn't matter whether you're the CEO of an organization giving an important heads up speech, State of the Union speech, or whether you're just speaking for a Toastmasters club. It always helps to have humor in your presentation. So I will be teaching you 5 tips and tools.
Nice.
That you can then watch the comedians in the comedy hour after my presentation. You can watch and then you'll be able to say, rule of 3. I know that one. Oh, they named it. Oh, yes, I see what they're doing here. So it kind of pulls my objective is to pull back the curtain of mystery around humor. And so you can add it to your toolkit and become consciously competent at the business of delivering humor in all your presentations.
Are our comedians going to be sad that you give away all the secrets?
only if they know what the secrets are. Well, you know what? Maybe so, but you could sit around and watch hours and hours and hours of funny stuff, like, stand-up comedy stuff, and still not really understand what's happening because you're so busy just laughing at it. As a matter of fact, I have a recommendation for listeners. I've discovered over the last year and a half, 2 years, that there is on YouTube a channel called Dry Bar Comedy. And it's taped, I believe, in Utah. So that means it's clean as driven snow. But the point is, it's stand-up comedy with no blue talk, no swearing, no harshness, no attacking, no, midnight at the comedy club kind of talk. It's clean. And that's the kind of humor that you've got to use as a Toastmaster. So that's a place to go, just to look and watch. And with your little toolkit, you'll be able to see exactly what they're doing.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm definitely doing that. I'm super stoked to have you there. I decided to do the Pathway Engaging Humor this year. And I realized I was not funny in my other speeches. I was more serious. I'd rather make you cry than make you laugh. And I've taken a twist in the last year that I really want to make you laugh and not cry. So I picked that pathway. And I have definitely become 1% funnier. It's been helpful. It has.
Onward and upward. It's just a real slow curve.
I'm hoping you get me to be a little bit more than that. And
5% funnier.
And then we'll just keep going.
Yeah. That brings up another point, which is I'll teach you how to measure how funny you are. There's actually a measurement index for it. And so I don't want to give everything away because then you'll think you don't need to come, but you need to come.
You need to come. So tell us a little bit about Saturday when you do your morning educational session.
Thank you. I would love to. I don't know how many of you have ever tried to compete in international speech competition or humorous. Of course, you'll be seeing the finals of international speech competition at the conference. However, there are two elements of any winning speech. One, humor. Two, you've got to have a point. Now, the way you combine those two is through storytelling. Because, make a point, tell a story. People will never remember the point you were making, but they'll never forget the story. So stories illuminate whatever it is that you're trying to say, especially if they're beautifully crafted. I'm going to teach you the specific elements that must be in a good story, and then what the storyline looks like. How do you actually craft it and put it together? And then we're going to apply those principles to a story that you probably already know.
Nice.
So that you can actually see, that's what's actually going on here. One of the things, here's the real reason why you need to come to this session. One of the primary differences between professional speakers and Toastmasters is professional speakers have to have an idea worth sharing. Like TED Talks, you gotta have an idea worth sharing. Frequently in Toastmasters, we're working on platform skills, not on content. So we get up and give a beautiful speech about how to bake chocolate chip cookies or how to give your dog a bath. And it's great, but you know what? Nobody's ever going to pay you money for that kind of a speech. So one of the reasons why international competition is so challenging is because all of a sudden you can't just be up there warbling along with no ums and ahs. You got to actually have a point. What I will be doing is teaching you how to craft a story with an inspirational point to it.
Yeah, that is the hardest thing. That's why a lot of people who say they want to do a TED Talk, one of the biggest things I say is, what will the topic be? I don't know what my topic would be for a TED Talk yet. What would yours? And most people are like, I don't know yet. And that is true. Finding that actual speakable topic that you could engage people in and have be different and unique. That's a really hard challenge.
Well, it is. And I'm glad you brought that up, Dany, because I call it a unique point of view. You've got to have a unique point of view. If you want to talk about leadership, you can't just read Leadership for Dummies and then regurgitate that in a speech. You've got to have a unique perception, bring something to the table that's different from everybody else, different and unique. And 9 times out of 10, the way you do that is through story. Because the concepts of leadership are, nobody's ever going to say, whatever you do, never return telephone calls and do not respond to emails. No, everybody's going to say, You've got to be responsive, right? So being responsive is critical in leadership and life, but you've got to have a different and interesting take. You can't just get up there and say, be responsive. So it's the story that makes the point.
Well, I cannot wait for you to show us how to take the comedy and the story and then give one main point that streams through both of them. And that's going to be an awesome thing to do, a workshop. And this is a workshop. So I'm sure we're all going to walk away from it knowing a lot more than we did 5 minutes prior to it.
Well, I just want to say that the other day in my advanced club, I'm a member of 2 clubs in the Dallas area, and one's a regular club and the other's an advanced club. My advanced club is absolutely full of past district directors and all kinds of current directors and leadership and everything. I mean, so it's a heavy hitters. I gave part of this training about storytelling, and they were like, aha, there was this aha moment. So now they want me to do it for our demo meeting, where we're,
nice.
Can you imagine your advanced club asking you to please give the same speech again? No, that doesn't happen. No, it doesn't.
That's funny.
So I was astonished but they remember it. I mean, I gave it 3 or 4 months ago and they still remember it and request it. That's crazy talk.
Well, I'm excited because then if we get even a piece of that, that would be super helpful to our District 38 all the way out here in New Jersey. So, Anne, when you are not Toastmastering and speaking, what are you doing? What is your human side of you doing?
Well, it's trying to craft material for speaking. Also, I'm an author. I've written a couple of books, one of which is 7 Secrets to Speaking So People Will Listen, which I don't know if I should bring any to sell or not.
Oh, you are totally going to have a table and absolutely should bring your books to sell.
Oh, okay. Great. Wonderful. So I do that. I also coach people who are just looking to improve their presentation skills. And also I do coaching to help people who want to become an accredited speaker, which is the Toastmaster designation for professional speakers. And there are fewer accredited speakers in Toastmasters than there are international winners. So it's kind of a hard thing to accomplish. You have to go out and speak for money to get it. So that's good. But what I really enjoy doing is, gardening. I love gardening. That sounds awful, doesn't it?
No.
Oh, I love reading books and gardening.
But anyway, everybody during COVID started to love gardening.
Yes. When you had all this time at home, you're like, well, let's go out and dig some weeds.
All of a sudden, I was growing my own carrots and celery and tomatoes. I mean,
yeah. So that, and then in COVID, I took up baking. So I make a lot of really fancy cookies. And then, and then my best hobby, my favorite hobby, is wrangling grandkids. We have managed to acquire 8 now. And the best thing about being a grandma is there's no stretch marks. It's just wonderful.
I'm sure. And you can spoil them, candy them up and send them back on their way. That's fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes.
I'm not looking forward to that though. I've got a lot of time. I'm good for a while.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's great when you get here, but you want to hold it off as long as possible. And,
Right.
some people are into reproduce early and often, but my family is into hold on for God's sake and don't do it until you're at least, so you can be 75 when they graduate from high school.
See, our family is the total opposite. Everybody's like 20, have another one, 20, have another one. Like, we have like 3 generations of like 20, 40, 60 going on. What
Great.
else? So you're going to be flying with your husband, and will you be at the 1920s dance party on Saturday night for people to come say hi?
We are going to stay through Saturday night. We're leaving early Sunday morning, but I'm all over 20s. And, you asked me when we were talking, where would your husband like to sit? And when I told him you'd ask that question, he said, well, tell her I'd prefer to sit in another state.
Tell him I got him all taken care of already. I know how we're doing it. He's good to go.
Okay. All right. So he just wants to be invisible.
We are going to hide him where I would have been sitting.
Okay. Well, I don't need to bring the paper bag then.
No,
right?
you're good. You're good. It's going to be great. Well, I am so glad you took your time out today to come talk to us and kind of give people a feel of like who you are and what you're bringing to the table, which is so much, so much. And we do have a couple Toastmasters that are speaking. We do have a couple of non-Toastmasters speaking. We have NSA President Steve Bowler coming in to talk about how what that NSA has done for him. And then we have Lisa BN from PHL 17. So you guys are going to have a blast. Everyone's going to stay Friday night. All the speakers are going to hang out on Friday night together. And
oh, great.
It's going to be beneficial for everybody involved. So I look forward to being a part of your world for a weekend. And I'm really glad that you're going to be a part of ours.
Well, thank you so much, Dany, for inviting me to come, because this is my dream. This is how I really help people, is by teaching people what it's taken me 25 years of professional speaking to learn, and kind of squishing it all down into manageable, actionable bites, because it's one thing to know the philosophy, and it's entirely another thing to actually apply it, incorporate it into your behavior. And my whole objective is behavior change, behavior improvement.
Well, everyone's going to benefit greatly from this. I can't wait. It's going to be so exciting. I'm so excited. I think I must be like the most excited person of all, but
well, Dany, I got to say, you're pretty spunky. I don't think you have very many gray days. You seem to be really enjoying being happy in life instead of being unhappy in life.
I'm very excitable. I am very excitable. This is probably true. I think I get excited when the sun finally shines too. I'm like, oh, it's shining. Raining here, and it's shining. Yes. It's pretty simple. The worms are coming out. Yeah. Well, keep up the great work. I'm really glad that you are doing so amazing and that you can take off some time to come out to a conference for us, because as everybody knows, we want the best and you are the best. So thank you so much for everything.
Well, it sounds like you've got a pretty impressive slate of presenters.
It's going to be good.
I don't know if I'm worthy to rub their elbows, but
you'll be dancing with their elbows.
Yeah. Take my pointy elbows out and polish them. So, yeah.
All right. So everybody, Friday and Saturday night, meet our friend Anne and become a part of her world too. Thank you so much, Anne.
Bye, everybody.